sweetie?
The one with my baby brother in it.
No, honey, that would come in a much bigger box with air holes.
Then I'll write a letter to Santa and ask him for a bigger box with air holes.
Okay. God, go right.
Yes.
The crayons are in your desk.
Gréйси, would you like some eggnog?
Well, that depends. What's in it?
What's in it? I'm not really sure what's in it, to tell you the truth. Eggs, I guess. And milk and cinnamon. It's supposed to see your recipe. You want to try it?
Okay, I'll try anything once. Boy, this is some haul you got here. I mean, it looks like Kelsey's drug and mercantile display window at holiday time.
What was Christmas like in Recklessville?
That's about as far away from this as you could get. They had this rule at the trailer park where we lived at. No Christmas trees. It was a fire hazard. So my mama fashioned up these stained glass windows made out of wire coat hangers and some colored tissue paper. It was actually real pretty.
Maybe you could make Samantha one or show her how to make them.
I don't got that gift. Besides, Samantha's got all this. I mean, what would a little girl want with a bunch of wire coat hangers dressed up like church windows?
You'd be surprised. Gréйsi, you ought to hang on to your traditions. You might want to pass them on to your own children.
Oh, yeah, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Well, you can keep the planet. It ain't doing such great shakes anyhow. No, I think I'll take the things money can buy.
You're young. You'll change your mind. One night when your baby wakes up with 103 fever, you'll trade anything you got to make sure that baby's well in the morning.
Yeah, maybe. But I think that's real easy for you to say when you probably came into all this swank never knowing what it is to do without.
How we live is not subject to your approval.
Nice.
Oh, that's okay. He's right. Even if he is a little rude, he can afford to be. Bad manners are just another luxury where I come from. But you know, someday I am going to be down and dirty in cold hard cash. And the first thing I'm going to do when I get my steak is to tell the whole world where to get off.
Excuse me, please. Cece?
Rosa, you want some of your eggnog? Great.
No, thank you. May I have a word in private?
Oh, you can talk in front of Gréйsi. She thinks so hopelessly bourgeois anyway. Nothing you could say would offend her.
Well, I was polishing the silver for Christmas dinner. When I got to the candelabra, I noticed one of them is missing.
I'm sorry.
You know, you just proved a theory of mine, Jody.
What? That the elevator's always going the direction you're not?
No, that all the great things in life come in small packages. I didn't know you were working tonight.
Well, actually, I'm not. I came to wrap presents. You see, the kids always want to sneak peeks at when I get them before Christmas, so I'm trying to get back to the cabin before they get there.
Oh, good. I tell you what you can do is I'll go and get my jacket, and if you'll wait, I give you a lift.
Oh, I have my car.
Oh, good. You can give me a lift. A hot toddy. Maybe even a goodnight kiss.
Wouldn't that be cozy? You and me and Reese under the mistletoe. I think the last person he wants to see sliding down our chimney is you. Unless, of course, there's a roaring fire going.
'Tis a season of good cheer, peace on earth, goodwill to all men, and all that other Yuletide folderol. Oh, tell him to get in the Christmas season, would you? And tell him at the same time to get over me. Because I know what I want for Christmas. It certainly has nothing to do with that jolly old fat man with the red suit.
Here's the phone. I want you to call Mr. Norris at his hotel room and tell him that you've reconsidered and you want to cut the deal.
Well, I haven't, and I'm not.
Then, young lady, you are a fool.
Why? Why am I a fool?
Because you have a chance of a lifetime here. Your book can get out there to be read by a mass audience. Do you realize you're talking about world classic books here? It's not some cheap organization. This is a top-notch publishing company. You should be honored that they want to handle you.
Well, I don't want to be handled. And if they're so honorable, why would they use you to get to me? As far as I'm concerned, Nelson Norris has the soul of a shark and half the scruples. Warren, He's not interested in my book. All he cares about are the profits he stands to make by selling a sensational story, that's all.
Well, forget the personalities, would you? The guy doesn't have to be your best friend. B J, you said all your life you wanted to be a writer. Now, believe me, don't become a starving artist where you look back at the end of your career and all you have is a list of unpublished books. You have an opportunity here to develop a readership, people that want to read your ideas. They'll value them. They'll follow you, don't you see? I mean, that's a dream come true for you.
What about your dreams?
But what's the big deal? The guy said he'd publish my book anyway.
As what? As an afterthought? Warren, do you really think that Nelson Norris is going to bust his butt trying to promote a book that he doesn't believe in? I would rather neither one of us get in print than to see your beautiful story exiled to some publisher's clearinghouse.
My book is not the point here, BJ. The point is you're about ready to blow a big opportunity because of me. Well, I don't want that responsibility. Because as a writer, if you did that, I wouldn't respect your choice. And as a husband, I wouldn't respect you.
Mrs. McCabe, did I hear you correctly? Did you say that Connor murdered Molly? Mrs. McCabe? Mrs. McCabe? Mrs. McCabe, are you there? God, now what?
Well, this shouldn't take too long. I wouldn't worry about the candlesticks if I were you, Rosa. They probably got misplaced.
I'm not in the habit of misplacing heirloom silver.
I didn't say you did, dear. I'm just saying that at Christmas time things get a little bit crazy, that's all. Anything else missing?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then no one's any sleep over it, all right? I'm sure the candelabra will reappear, and we'll all go on to another crisis.
Well, what shall we have? Stockings? Or each other?
Don't mind my husband. He came upon a midnight drear.
Well, it's no skin off my nose. I don't understand what y'all are talking about half the time anyhow.
Anyone for Jingle Bells? Deck the halls. I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Now, talk about hokey. I thought people only sang Christmas carols at them Barbara Mandrell specials.
Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I gotta go upstairs and prove Samantha's letter to Santa Claus. He's a real stickler for punctuation. Excuse me.
Well, Cece. How about a rousing version of Ave Maria? Show Andy Williams how it's done.
I'll get the bell. Oh, Gräйsi, you know what they say about Christmas, don't you? When the bell rings, an angel gets its wings.
Hello. Hello.
Merry Christmas, Cece.
You weren't there, Warren. You didn't hear the pitch. He's not interested in me. He wants my book.
Right, which is exactly why you should jump on the opportunity. You know, it's not very often that young novice writers get picked up by a publishing company their first time out. And by the way, kid, it's not because he thinks you're Anna Tolstoy. It's because he feels you have a very powerful story to tell. Because of the advanced PR, people are going to want to read about it. If I were you, I'd hitch myself onto his wagon and follow that star as far as you could.
If you don't mind, I think I'll hitch my wagon to my own star. And I'll tell you something else. I don't like you insinuating that this may be my one and only chance to make it. I consider that an insult. I have more than one book in me, Warren. I've got hundreds of stories to tell. But I'm going to tell them in my own time and in my own way. And I'm not going to be rushed or bullied or intimidated by people who just want to pad their profit shares.
Don't be so naive, BJ. That's what makes the world go around.
Oh, you can just stop it right now because this is where I get off. You know, it's funny. I expected something like that from Nelson Norris. But not from you, Warren. Never from you. What won't take long?
To stoke the fire back up.
Well, are you just going to stand there, or do you want to help me?
It's been over an hour since you tried to get in touch with Dr. Samuels, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's probably tied up with some emergency or something.
I called the hospital, McCabe.
You did?
They don't have a Dr. Samuels on staff.
Really? Which hospital did you call?
North Fairview.
Well, before you go checking up on me, you get your facts straight. Dr. Samuels is not at North Fairview. He's at Fairview Hospital. We don't have to take my word for it. The number is right there by the phone.
The phone's dead.
Since when?
Since right before you walked in here with your firewood.
Oh, I get it. You think I went out there with my trusty little axe and cut those phone lines? Why would I do something like that?
Why don't you tell me, McCabe?
A little late to have him out and about, isn't it?
Well, it's just for the holidays. You see, Lionel need to set up this vintage train set that we're giving to Channing for Christmas.
Sounds like it's more for his daddy than anybody else.
Well, why do you think they call him Lionel?
Well, he can come here anytime he wants, can't you? This house is all yours anytime you want.
I just thought that maybe this time of year you'd be having a little bit of the baby blues. Can't believe it was a year ago Channing was born. Can you?
Oh, take him inside something to eat. You want to tell me how I could ever forget? A year ago, he was ushered into the world by a veterinarian, surrounded by a menagerie of birds and beasts, and then spent a year living in the Lockridge Asylum for dotty dowagers and out-to-lunch archaeologists.
One of my chopped liver?
You defy description.
Well, thanks for the compliment, I guess.
You know, maybe it's the time of year, but sometimes I wonder if I gave up more than I bargained for when I gave up Channing.
Well, maybe your loss was his gain. After all, now Channing has 3 parents that spoil him rotten. There's safety in numbers and a whole lot of love.
No. Maybe a Merry Christmas after all.
What are you doing in my things?
Now, don't tell me, let me guess. You borrowed this to read by so no one else will be disturbed by the light. No. Why don't we ask Julia how she thinks it got here?
Hold your horses. I do my own talking.
Kelly, why would I cut the phone lines?
It's a good question. Why won't your mother talk about you?
What? I don't understand.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
All right, Kelly, what's going on here?
Don't you come 1 step closer to me, McCabe. I mean it. Not 1 step closer.
Kelly, what are you doing? You think that I'm going to hurt you? Now, Kelly, who put that idea in your head?
Your mother did. I called her when you left here. I found your father's obituary, and she won't tell me anything about your father.
So you took it upon yourself to call my house? So what did she say?
Not very much. She wouldn't even acknowledge you. At first, she said she didn't even have a son named Connor, and then she hung up on me.
So what did you do?
I followed you out to the cemetery. And I saw the grave, I saw Molly's name on the tombstone. And then I came back here and I called your mother back.
Was she more receptive the second time?
You're not her favorite topic.
What else did she say?
She said that you murdered Molly. She told me that you killed your wife.
You know, sweetie, I have this theory about fights. It's kind of weird, but well, you know me. It's like a fight is like the battery, you know, in a relationship. It pumps the life back into that relationship. And the trick is to, well, take all that negative energy and turn it back into the love that you have for each other. And if you can do that, that love is better and stronger than it's ever been. And in the end, it wasn't the fighting that drove your mom and me apart. Actually, it's what kept us together for all these years.
How could she ever let you go, Daddy?
Oh, baby, we let each other go.
Well, hi.
Hey. Well, season's greetings. B Jay, Reese.
Right back at you.
B Jay, honey, is something wrong?
Warren and I had a fight. I walked out.
Oh, sweetie. Look, I never thought that I would say this, but you come to the wrong place this time. What you have to do is go back to Warren and work this out between you.
That's what Dad said.
Your dad's a smart man.
Well, I suggest that B Jay take your process back to Warren, where we do the rest with.
Look, Doc, I'm sure your heart's in the right place, but really, this is a family matter.
Oh, doesn't worry me at all. I'm a big believer in families. The bigger, the better, actually. I'm looking at my own group. It's expanded. Now with Sawyer and Jody here. I'm sure in time, Aurora and myself will be part of yours.
Just one big happy family, huh?
Yes, that's the ticket. You know, as a matter of fact, I have an idea. We should initiate a new tradition. Our first annual get-together. Dinner at my place on Christmas Eve, and you're all invited. How's that?
So you think I'm a murderer? For the record, I don't have a wife. I've never been married.
But your mother told me...
Said what?
She told me that you murdered Molly.
Well, now it's all becoming very clear.
Who is Molly?
I think the better question yet is, who am I? Because obviously I'm not who I appear to be. And you're afraid to be in this house alone with an assassin. Isn't that right? Shelley, you're very clever. You've stumbled across my plot. That story about Ken and his shaky past, that was all just trumped up to get you up here all alone. Now, why would I do that? Huh? You tell me. Is it A, because I want to have my way with you? Or is it B, that I want to murder you? Way out here in the middle of nowhere where no one can hear you scream. Or is it C? Huh?
You okay?
Is it C? None of the above. Now you want to know the truth? Do you? Well, then I'm going to show you. Do you hear me?
You stole that?
Yes.
Why?
Insurance. I mean, I can't depend on the kindness of strangers forever. Mason here's chomping at the bit to see me go. I figured you wouldn't miss one little candlestick, and that can feed and clothe me all the way to Recklessville.
That's a shabby way to treat us after everything that we've done for you.
No, wait, time out. Did I ask you to help me? I mean, what am I? Some kind of Christmas project here to make y'all feel better during the holidays? Well, what if the spirit don't move you no more and the sleigh bells stop ringing? I mean, am I just going to be put out on the curb with the Christmas tree you can't use anymore? Well, thanks, but no thanks. Just from me, we don't need your help.
That's funny. I need help all the time. You should try it, Gréйsi. And then be gracious when somebody offers it to you. I offered you help out of respect for you and your circumstances. I'm trying to be your friend. If you can't reciprocate that, then you say so and go. But don't insult me by stealing things from my family. Well?
Up until tonight, I have never taken anything in my life that didn't belong to me. And I wouldn't have done it if it weren't for this baby.
That's no excuse. I'm sorry. Gréйsi, look, I know that you're scared. But we picked you up off the street. We fed you. We've clothed you. We've sheltered you in a manner which most people are not accustomed. We have given you no indication that we're going to do anything, let alone leave you out in the cold. There is some point in your life you're going to have to trust somebody.
I want to trust people. I try to. But in the end, they always let me down.
Well, maybe this is the first time that they won't. Now, I want your word that you're not going to take anything else here. And if you want something, you let me know. Is that clear?
So does this mean I can stay?
No, it does not.
Mason, for heaven's sakes, have a little good cheer, a little forgiveness. It's Christmas, damn it.
So she can steal something else while I'm not looking?
Can we have a moment alone, Gréйsi, please?
Look, whatever you decide, I'm thankful to you. You don't owe me anything.
What can I do to make you happy, darling?
Honey, I'll be happy when little Eva is out the door and out of our lives.
All right. Don't do it for me, do it for her. Just give her one more chance, okay?
Julia, she stole from people who helped her. I want her out of the house tonight.
Well, thanks for the invite, Doc, but I think I'm going to have to pass on your dinner invitation.
Well, maybe you'll reconsider.
You know, call me unsophisticated, but I just don't see myself breaking bread and making small talk with the same guy who's squiring my wife around town.
What if you change your mind?
Don't count on it.
Mom, would you mind going over to Warren's and picking my stuff up for me?
Oh, honey. Come on, really, now. Why don't you just wait until tomorrow when cooler heads prevail? Better yet, go over there yourself and clear the air.
No, I don't think that I could face him then, or maybe ever. Please, Mom.
All right.
Thanks.
B J.
Night, everybody.
Oh, good night. Night, sweetie.
Night, Effie.
Get a good night's sleep.
Micah, why don't we just meet back at your house?
Yeah, I'll keep the light on.
Well, don't have to wait up for me.
No, it's not a chore.
See.
Oh.
DeAngelis, are you stupid or just plain rude?
I beg your pardon?
This is my house, and Jodi's my wife. So if it's all the same to you, I'd appreciate it if you try not to make time with her here. Do it on your own time and on your own turf.
I don't understand why you're taking this so personally.
Well, when my wife's involved, I'm a little funny that way.
You keep referring to Jodi as your wife. I suppose in the legal sense of the word, you're justified.
I don't have to justify squat to you, pal. But I'll offer this warning. You hurt her in any way, and you answer to me.
You know, that's where you and I go different paths, Reese. I have no intention of hurting her. That is on your time and your turf. But just to show that I had no hard feelings at all, I'll still keep a setting open for you tomorrow night.
Don't hold your breath.
Merry Christmas.
This isn't going to help us get back together at all, is it, Joe?
There it is. I want you to take a good look. A good, hard, long look.
She was 22 years old.
And I used to wonder if, well, when you went to heaven, if the people you met, your family and friends, they were the same age when they died. And I used to think about Molly. And I wondered if she'd still be as pretty and as sweet as she was when she was alive. Well, who am I kidding? I won't see Molly again. Ever. So there you have it, Kelly. The answer to the unanswerable. So don't weep for me, you weep for Molly. You were wrong about one thing. She wasn't my wife. She was my sister. But you were right about one thing. I killed her. And now you know.
Mary, Mary, Mary.
And ho, 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 Mary.
Can I come in?
Absolutely. What brings you here?
Actually, B Jay asked me to come to pick up her things.
So that's it, huh? She's not coming back.
I guess so.
Her stuff's in the closet.
That's it, huh?
What do you want from me, Jodi? Your daughter took a walk, so I let her walk. If she doesn't want to come back and say goodbye to me herself, well, then I'll say it for her. Goodbye.
And that's a crock. And you know it. You don't want her gone any more than I... Well, Don't kid a kidder. You can see right through him every time. So what happened between you two?
I don't know. What happened? Your daughter's very stubborn, you know. Very. I might be a touch stubborn myself. And I guess we kind of locked horns and... You know, I want the best for her. And I think she wants the best for me. We were so worried about each other, I think we sort of self-destructed.
Oh, bleh. That sounds like one of those creature features at the local drive-in. You know, the revenge of the crash dummies, and you know something else? You are dumb. If you're going to let BJ get away with this, then you're going to let BJ get away, period. Is that what you want for Christmas?
You've had a chip on your shoulder about Gréйsi since we picked her up off the highway.
And our lives have been thrown into perpetual tumult ever since, Julia. I rue the day you talked me into going back for, and tonight is the last straw.
So she took some food and a candlestick. I promise you, you won't miss it. Look at it from her perspective. She has nothing but the clothes on her back and her unborn baby. She's like a kid in a candy store.
Which she is free to look at and not touch.
Will you please just give her one more chance? Give her a chance to feel safe here so she won't fear that she'll go hungry and that her child won't be provided for.
Julia, I'm sorry. But if you really believe that a slap on the wrist and a scolding will turn that girl into the perfect house guest, you are hopelessly naive.
Right, well then I am hopeless and I am naive. But what does that make you? And ask me if I'd trade places.
Where are you going?
To check on Gréйsi, okay?
Maybe she'd like the key to the rolls.
We having fun yet?
Oh, I can't stop chuckling. It's going to be the most side-splitting Christmas in memory.
It's me again.
Rosa, what now?
You're not gonna like it.
Gréйsi? Are you in there? I just wanted to see you. So are her clothes. Well, Mason, you got what you want. Hope you're happy.
Tell me what happened.
Well, my mother was telling you the truth, as much as she knows. But there is one thing that she doesn't know.
What?
It's that quote from a Hartley novel. The past is a foreign subject. They do things differently there. It was 1989. I was working undercover for the NIB and posing as a drug dealer. To make it happen, I had to convince everyone that I was hooked myself. So I went to my parents' home, in their back bedroom, and I shot up sugar water. And my mother found me there with a needle in my arm. And she wrote me off. Because that's the way I wanted it. If anything was to go down, I wanted them safe. That was their insurance policy. There was just one thing that I didn't count on. And that was Molly. She didn't want to see me fall into that ring of fire, so she came to my rescue.
Oh, God.
The night the bust was set to go down, she showed up with
which triggered my connection, which triggered the bullet that was meant for me. And Molly caught it right in her neck. And she bled to death on a cold cement floor. She'd still be alive today. She hadn't tried to save me. She'd just forgotten all about me. But I killed my sister. Just as sure as if I'd pulled that trigger myself.
What are you doing?
Thinking. Thinking that you should be careful what you wish for. You got your wish, she's gone.
Well, cheer up. She's not alone. She took the Georgian tea service with her for company.
Oh.
Warren, hi.
B Jay around?
Merry Christmas to you, too.
I'm sorry. Where's B Jay?
I'm right here.
I'm gonna leave you two alone.
Are you gonna ask me what that was for?
What was that for?
That was for us. Now, I asked you to be my wife. In my book, that means something. Not the one for publication and not the bestseller. You see, it's a funny kind of book. The one where you write the ending first. The one where you and I live happily ever after together. And you write each page day by day as you go along. Now, what do you say? You want to write that book together? Or do you want to leave this a story untold?
Chapter 1, page 1, where the hero takes the heroine in his arms and tells her that he loves her. That wasn't in the book.
Now, I want you to get a hold of Nelson Norris, and I want you to tell him to send the contracts over. It's going to be all right. But I want you to do this for yourself.
Okay, I'll do it. But only if you do something for me.
Name it.
Take me home.
This is such a happy ending. So I play it in my mind over and over, backwards, forwards, in reverse. I pause it, but it always comes out the same. She's dead. I killed her. So how do I ask my family to forgive me? Because I can't even forgive myself.
Don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself.
Just forgive me.
There's nothing you could have done. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. Connor.
Oh, just help me. I feel so lost.
Oh, you can hold on to me, honey. You can hold on to me.
This week on Days of Our Lives, will Carly and Lawrence get the Christmas miracle they've been praying for? And on Another World, the holidays heat up when Vicky and Grant decide whether they will be together or apart for Christmas. This week on NBC Daytime.